It was my second week in China. I had just moved into a short-term rental in Chengdu, a city I knew mostly from panda documentaries and travel blogs about spicy food. I was here for a 2-month tech exchange program, working remotely with my team back in New York. Jet lag was brutal. My Mandarin? Almost non-existent. And between juggling time zones and navigating the metro system with shaky Wi-Fi, I hadn't had a proper meal in days. It was a Thursday night, pouring rain outside. The kind of cold, slapping rain that makes you question every life decision. I had just wrapped up a 4-hour Zoom call. My eyes were dry, my neck hurt, and my stomach was growling like an angry dog. I looked around the apartment. No snacks, no instant noodles, not even tea. I slumped into a chair and opened my phone. I remembered a Chinese colleague mentioning an app called Meituan. She said, "You can order anything." Really? Hotpot, robot vacuum, even a haircut. I'd downloaded it out of curiosity but hadn't dared to use it. The interface was in Chinese, of course, but auto-translate kicked in. I tapped the food icon, typed "hot pot" into the search bar, and braced myself. What popped up looked like a prank. A full solo hot pot set. Soup base, meat, veggies, dipping sauces. All neatly packed. Delivery in under 30 minutes. Price? 21 yuan. That's about $2.89. My first reaction wasn't delight. It was suspicion. There had to be a catch. In Manhattan, $2.89 might get you a lukewarm bottle of water at a bodega. Maybe a packet of soy sauce if you're lucky. I scrolled through the listing. Photos. Reviews. Thousands of them. All 5 stars. People wrote in Chinese, sure, but I could catch the vibe. Phrases like clean, fast, delicious, authentic. There were photos of the hot pot kits with little panda stickers on the lids. And perfectly rolled slices of beef. It felt too good to be true. I refreshed the listing. Still real. Still cheap. Still glowing. In New York, I once paid $42 for a Thai curry and sticky rice combo from a delivery app. It arrived an hour late, lukewarm, with a broken lid and one missing item. When I contacted support, they sent me an email offering $3 credit after 4 days. I hesitated. Maybe this was a bait and switch? Maybe I'd get a pot of hot water and a packet of ketchup? But curiosity beat skepticism. I clicked order. The app confirmed it. Estimated arrival, 23 minutes. I sat there, still doubting. 10 minutes later, a text message. Your rider is arriving. Please be ready. I heard a knock. I opened the door. There he was, a delivery rider soaked from the rain, water dripping from his helmet. He held 2 waterproof thermal bags, bowed slightly, and said something in Mandarin with a smile. Then he handed me the bags and, this part felt like a hallucination, pulled a 3rd item from his backpack. A portable induction stove. Yes. An actual plug-in hot pot stove. He gestured politely and held up his phone, showing me instructions, translated step by step, on how to set it up. Then, still smiling, he pulled out a small towel and wiped the bags before handing them over. 谢谢, I said, the only word I knew with confidence. He smiled again, waved, and disappeared into the rain. I stood there, blinking. Half waiting for a hidden camera crew to jump out and yell, "Gotcha!" But no. This was real. Inside the bags was a carefully packed, color-coded Hotpot set. A stainless steel pot. A sealed container of mala broth, red as fire with peppercorns floating like landmines. Thinly sliced beef, curled like roses. Crisp lotus root slices, tender tofu, baby bok choy. A box of dipping sauces, sesame, garlic, chili oil, chopped scallions. Every lid had a cheerful cartoon character on it. The packaging was neat, recyclable, and labeled in both Chinese and English. There was even a napkin packet with a toothpick, a wet wipe, and a plastic glove. At the bottom, a handwritten card in delicate Chinese characters, with an English translation. Wishing you warmth in the rain. Enjoy your Chengdu night. I sat in silence. Plugged in the stove. Watched the broth bubble. Dropped in the beef. Dipped it in sesame sauce. Took a bite. It was phenomenal. Sitting alone in that apartment across the world from my city, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Taken care of. Not as a consumer. Not as a customer. But as a human being. Back home in New York, convenience is brutal. It comes with service fees, hidden surcharges, surge pricing, and endless tipping prompts. You pay more to wait longer. You pray your food's not spilled. You refresh the tracking page like it's a stock market app. And God help you if you complain. I once had a DoorDash driver mark my food as delivered while I stood on the street corner, phone in hand, food nowhere in sight. Customer service told me to check with neighbors. I live in a story apartment block. Here, a stranger brought a stove to my door in the rain, just to make sure I could enjoy a meal correctly. That night, I didn't just eat Hotpot. I digested a realization. We've been sold a lie about Western convenience. In America, convenience is transactional. Cold. Often broken. Disguised behind slick apps and bright logos. In China, I found convenience to be personal. Designed for real life. Rooted in care, not just code. I opened the Meituan app again. Browsed. You could order anything: umbrellas, fresh flowers, iPhone cables, even prescription medicine, with delivery in 30 minutes or less. And no, it's not a luxury. It's just how things work. Why? Because systems are built to serve, not extract. Because technology here is integrated with daily human needs, not just quarterly profits. In the West, we equate freedom with friction. As if struggling through bureaucracy somehow proves independence. As if enduring bad service is noble. As if getting less for more is just part of being free. But maybe true freedom is something else entirely. Maybe freedom is not having to fight for basic decency. Not needing to send 3 emails to get a refund. Not being trapped between bad options and worse outcomes. Maybe freedom is soup served hot on a rainy night by someone who thought to bring a stove. That evening, I FaceTimed a friend back in Brooklyn. I showed him the setup. He laughed. How much did that cost? Like $50. 3, I said. He stared. 3? Like $3? Yep. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, Dude, I just paid $19 for a soggy sandwich that took 45 minutes to arrive. I smiled. We like to think America is the land of innovation. Of hustle. Of choice. But when it comes to living well, to real-world, everyday systems that actually work, maybe we've fallen behind. Maybe our pride has blinded us. Because here I was, in a country we call developing, eating a better dinner than I'd had in weeks, delivered faster, cheaper, and with more grace than anything I'd experienced in a decade of New York life. And I couldn't stop asking myself, why did I think it was a scam? Why did I assume it couldn't be real? What does that say, not about China, but about me? About how much faith I'd lost in the systems I grew up with. About how low my expectations had sunk. The truth is, I didn't believe anyone would care that much for that little money. Because in my world, we've normalized neglect. We've accepted cold food, broken apps, and customer service bots that go in circles. We've learned to say, it is what it is, while watching billion-dollar companies ignore us. But here, across the ocean in the rain, someone packed me a meal with care, wrote a note, and made sure I had a working stove. And I'll never forget that. So the next time someone tells you China is just factories and surveillance, tell them this. In China, I got Hotpot delivered for $3. And I've never felt more human. Tell me, what's convenience worth to you? And what are we settling for that we shouldn't? Think about it. Because I did. And I don't think I'll ever see normal the same way again.